Alright, so apparently the 2017 Buick LaCrosse is coming. And here we are, this is a 2017 Buick LaCrosse. So from the looks of it, it looks like, this may share its platform. I'll know when I get inside, but it may share its platform with obviously one of the Cadillacs. Some aspects of it, technology-wise. It's a good-looking car. And actually, one of these may be in our future, because I actually have cars to trade in. I want to take a look and see just how nice this one actually is. So basically what you're looking at is probably about $35,000 to start. But let's see what it says. It says this is a LaCrosse Premium front, either that's front wheel or, yeah, that's probably front wheel, because usually I put four-wheel disc brakes, four-wheel anti-lock. Engine is a 3.6 V6. That 3.6 liter, GM has basically been using that over and over and over again in just about all of their cars. And to tell you the God's honest truth, that's probably the best choice of engine they got. Yeah, the turbocharged V6s are okay, but the only problem is you got to use premium fuel for those. You don't have to use premium fuel in the 3.6 liter V6. Like we had that engine in the STS, and we also had it in SRX. So it starts at $41,065 for this model, and then it escalates to $48,995. So we have packages, $1,690 for the driver confidence. That's all your safety nannies, like the cruise control, automatic parking assist, etc., etc. Sun and shade package. So you have this. This is their dual panel moonroof. Navigation. And there's a total of 7,000 in options, and it comes out to $48,995. Okay, so that is about a $50,000 car, pretty much. So we're looking at about what, $680 in payments a month. Lighting out here. The lighting out here is a little strong because I got the sun right there, so it kind of hurts the lighting just a little bit. So you have to stand on certain angles in order to make sure the lighting doesn't interrupt too much. This is a black model.
You like that model?
It's pretty.
Say hi to the camera.
This is pretty, yeah.
What, the pickup truck? I don't know if that's your style.
Okay, so this one is, I think, the same thing, $48,395. So it pretty much has all the same packages. They really ought to just order them all loaded, so this way you save me the thought process of having to figure out. So I'm gonna look at the front seat, look at the back seat.
Need any help?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Just let us know.
You got it. Okay. Yeah, I usually like to look at things on my own. You know, you get these pushy salesmen, they always jump right on you. They're like, uh-oh, here comes the money. Okay, so Buick. It's nice to have these cars that have these nav systems that automatically greet you as soon as you get in, isn't it? So, okay. This feels a lot like the XTS. Like, I'm feeling how I'm sitting in this seat, and I'm feeling how far away the steering wheel is. This feels a lot like the XTS. Yeah, because I see I have lots of leg space. The only thing, I don't know how far the steering wheel telescopes. It feels a lot like the XTS. But actually, I would really say it kind of feels more like the CT6. I'm thinking the CT6 may be a stretched version of this. But from first guess, I would say, if I had my eyes closed, I would say I'm probably sitting in a CT6, because I'm looking look how far away I am from the dashboard, and I'm just sitting back naturally. Let me try to sit myself up a little bit more. Okay, so we got the music playing. Let's see what we got. Got the sport mode right here for your 3.6 liter V6. Usually sport mode makes it so that you change the programming so that the throttle response is a little bit faster, and that sometimes some cars have those suspension systems with the magnets in them where it makes it so that the car is it rides a little bit closer to the ground. Got the fan up, fan down. See, they try to make these buttons very simple now because they realize that touch system bullshit that, Lincoln and Cadillac introduced, they realized that all the old people rebelled against them because they don't understand any of that. They just like turn knobs. That's all it is, turn knobs. So notice here this monostatic shifter. This is one of the things that a lot of people complain about. Now, you actually have to pull it back for drive. You push it forward to get to neutral and to get to park. And it says if you push forward and then pull left, that's how you get to reverse. And see, the sad thing is they should not put these shifters in these cars, but they do, and then there's usually backlash. Now, what they do in order to make sure that you don't have a car accidentally back over you is they make it so that if you open the door, it turns on automatic parking brakes. My thing is I prefer the mechanical shifter because it's more predictable. On the steering wheel, your buttons are pretty much laid out. This is cruise control on, collision, forward collision, heated steering wheel. It's kind of weird that you'd have a heated steering wheel button right here, but I guess it's easy enough to figure out. Voice controls, hang up the button, hang up on the people on the phone. Then you have seek, like you can turn. It says, okay, yeah, so certain apps require the vehicle actually be on, but I'm indoors, so you can't really turn it on, obviously. This is the up knob. This is the down for volume. This is all cruise control features right here. And then over here, it's all volume controls. And you can move around on the screen right here. So here you go with the map and location. That's the map. So you have a map right there of the United States of America. That's Trump country right there. You can zoom in here. They have very nice graphics. It's nice graphics, I'd say. Huh? Let's see, recent, nothing recent, hourly. Okay. I am glad to see that they've put cooled and heated seats in here because, I usually argue with companies who don't give you cooled and heated seats right away. But the interior looks really nice, feels really nice. It's got this back seat. I'm going to go into the back seat in a minute, see how much leg space, see how much headroom is back there. This really does look a lot like a CT6, so I'm pretty sure if I look it up online, this car shares a lot in common with the CT6. I could pretty much guess. You can pretty much guess. Yep. Okay, so you have parking system turn off, lane avoidance, like if you drive out a lane, StabiliTrak button on and off. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's your map button to get to the map immediately. Menu. Everything's very simple, and see, they finally learned their lesson. Everything has redundant buttons, so you have redundant buttons on the steering wheel, here, and right there. They've learned their lesson finally. And then this has a cruise control as well as a heads-up display, so you can see the cruise control features in the heads-up display. Nothing special on the mirror. They put all their stuff up here. So you got what is it? Sunshades, power sunshade back, the typical buttons. It's all the same. Basically, it's the same equipment that you'd find pretty much in any of the Cadillacs. It's just that the Cadillacs have nicer, plastics, gloss plastics used in the buttons. So I have plenty of leg space, and I'm pretty sure this thing drives as comfortably probably as a CT6. I'm gonna drive it later, so I can just, be sure of that. Oh, and then there's the light switch. Okay, so let's see, I can turn the lights on. You have memory seats here. Turn. Uh-oh.
You like this car? You pick this one?
All right. Turn that back to auto. Let me go sit in the back. Okay. Now, if I were to sit behind myself, this is how much space I would have. I was sitting comfortably the way I was sitting, but if somebody was behind me, yeah, they'd have a little bit of leg space right there. They'd be okay. Now, on the opposite side, let's go sit on the opposite side.
Yeah, you see? She's upset now.
Jesus. Okay, so I'm sitting in the back. I have plenty of leg space. As far as this roof, there is an indentation right here for your head. So that's indentation is designed to make sure anybody sitting back there has enough space for their head. This bump, however, that goes down, this bump kind of makes it a little, I'd have to scooch down just a little bit so I wouldn't be able to sit straight up. If I wanted to sit straight up, my head is basically going, like if you look at this, my head is going right through the roof. If I can't sit straight up, I cannot sit straight up. And that's one of the reasons why, as I've said before, and I have people attacking me about the Lincoln Continental review, while I just don't understand these people. If you're going to make a car that has that much leg space, right, it stands to reason that you're dealing with people who are tall. Hey, guess what? If you're dealing with people who are tall, most likely, not only do they have long legs, but they also have long spines. So if they have long spines, and you're dealing with a car that needed a lot of leg space in the first place, it stands to reason that the people who are tall also need a lot of headroom. Yeah, guys, let's think. Headroom. I don't know who the hell it is that they use as models for these cars, and I'm pretty sure it's got a lot to do with the Chinese designers, because Buick is really a Chinese car at this point. They buy 3 times as many that Americans buy. But it's not a bad car. Now, okay, granted, I'm a really tall person, right? Thing about it is, when you sell a car like this, you have to make sure that you've looked out for the buyers who you think are going to be in that target demographic. NBA players buy S-Classes for a reason. A lot of them would buy cars like this and Cadillacs, but the problem is you got to make sure they can fit in them. Like Shaquille O'Neal, he would probably have a little issue with headspace. And I'm not saying that we're making cars for NBA players. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, the more space you give people, the more likely they are going to want to buy your product, because people do not want to be in small cars. That's one of the reasons why these crossovers are selling so well. They want a big car that has plenty of leg space. To see, sitting as I'm sitting, nobody would be able to sit in the middle of this car right here, because the problem is I'm losing so much space vertically that I can't be comfortable horizontally. So I'm taking up, like, almost like 1.5 seats. Because this middle seat where you would normally put a child seat, it's just not enough. My arm goes right over the damn thing, So if I fold this down, this is kind of wide. This car isn't very wide. It's long, but it's not very wide, and it's not very tall. Yeah, but it's not a bad car, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these things are going to sell to shorter people, older people. It's not a bad car. It's just that the thing that bothers me is, like, they don't go as far as they could have gone. I mean, my only complaint is that it needs more headroom. That's my only complaint. So, and that's exactly what I said about the Continental. And people didn't want to hear it. They're like, yeah, you're stupid. Yeah, you're freakishly tall and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? That Mercedes S-Class outsells the BMW 7, outsells the Audi A8, outsells the it outsells pretty much everything in its price range, and you're talking about $100,000. And then you look at the Hyundai Genesis. Hyundai Genesis is doing really well because they basically copied the Mercedes S-Class W221. So you have a choice: either you give the people what they demand, or they're going to take their money across the street. And I'm not saying this is bad. I actually like this car, And I like what GM is doing inside the Chevys, and I like what they're doing inside the Buicks, and I also like what they're doing inside the Cadillacs. It's a really nice place to be. Some people won't need that much more space. But my only thing is, I want you to understand the reason why people are choosing crossovers over sedans is simply because these companies are not making sedans large enough. Quote, enough. And if they make sedans a little bit larger and give them more headroom and they give them more legroom, now this is good, right? This is good legroom. But if they make their sedans a little bit larger, this car is also bigger than the Continental, I want you to understand. So we'll see which one does better in sales. It's also cheaper than the Continental by about $15,000. But all I'm saying is, if you make bigger, better sedans, it will cut off a little how many people are gonna choose a crossover instead. It's a very nice place to be, though. Okay, so I'm gonna see the inside. This is nice.
It's warming up a little bit at least.
Okay. So here's all the technology. I wish I could test the sound system. I think we may actually end up probably getting one of these things, but I wish we could test the sound system, because the only thing about it is goddamn YouTube always screws with you if you get music into your video, even though it should be fair use policy. So let's listen to that rev. Let's listen to it. Shh, shh. Everybody be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Let's listen to the rev. Ooh, I'm going to sleep. Ooh, I'm going to sleep. This thing doesn't even like to rev. It's like you rev it and the shit it goes, and that's it. It goes. Ooh, can you hear that? Can you hear that? Can you hear that Hellcat power? Listen to that. Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. It's not bad. It's nice. Okay. Yeah, you can't hear it at all. This is probably the quiet. Like, I remember in the good old days when engines were really loud, and a loud engine was actually a good thing. Now these damn things are so damn quiet until things are so ridiculously quiet. It's like you don't hear shit. I have to say, it's a lot of leg space, which is really good. A lot of leg space. I got the collision avoidance. You got the heads-up display. That's pretty nice. Heads-up display. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's try to turn it up real quick. I gotta turn it right down, because the thing about it is, if you don't turn it down, YouTube will screw with you. Okay, it's a nice place to be. Got the heated seat. Got the heated cooled seat. Let me turn that up. You just push it, get one little heat dot. Look at that. One heat dot. Yep. Or you could turn on the cooled seat. You got the cooled dots. Okay, and then you have to hold this and then pull. Okay. All right, and here we go. Okay, so I don't want anybody to hit me. Yeah, these damn things ain't got no power. I mean, this 3.6 GM is a really good engine. This is just like how they have the Pentastar Chrysler. This engine is actually a pretty good engine because it is straightforward, a regular V6, no sophisticated shit in it. It has decent gas mileage. It has decent torque. It has good ability, good horsepower, and it's almost 300 horsepower depending upon the exhaust system that they put on it. But it's somewhere between like 292 and 305 or 310. So it actually works out pretty well as a good go-around engine. And we've had it in the STS, we've had it in the 3.6 SRX, and I've been very happy with it. you know, and it's the same engine. You know, they try to act like, you know, they've done something new with it, but they really haven't. Okay, this car, I feel right away, has that thing that kind of shocks you in the ass a little bit, where it makes you, it lets you know if there's somebody on your side. And as you can see, you got the heads-up display right there, so we can look at the heads-up display as we drive. So, yeah. A Chrysler Pacifica minivan right there. Okay. Okay, John Mayer. That's what we're listening to, John Mayer, if you can see that. You know, sometimes there's like features it's kind of hard to see and everything. It's a big car. You know, it's a pretty big car. It's very nice. Very nice. Oh, and I feel this thing shocking me in the ass, trying to say, yeah, somebody's either behind you or whatever. Okay, let's open up the shade, get some light in here. Very nice, very nice. Very nice. Okay, all right. There's no race to it. It's not ultra powerful. It would be nice if they had like one of those 3.6 liter twin turbo somethings, or you know, or God forbid they made it so that people with more money could buy the Cadillac. Oh shit, you get some wheel spin off the son of a bitch. One thing I have noticed is there's no torque steer like there was in the original LaCrosse. Because the original LaCrosse, I noticed the wheel jerked a little bit to the left and to the right. So, you know, that's interesting. And, you know, it's a very comfortable car, actually. So if you're one of these people who likes things like the CT6, but you don't want to pay all that extra premium and insurance money, and you don't want to pay all that extra for the name Cadillac, it's like, this is a really nice car. And from what I was hearing, Shaq had commercials where he was doing commercials in this car, and it's pretty big. So we have low fuel. Okay, so when the fuel level gets low, it says action required, fuel level low, and it shows you that big gauge right there. It says fuel level low. So this way, there's no way that you don't know that your fuel level's low. Guess what? It's time to get some fuel. Okay. Yeah, that's very Christina Aguilera Hurt. So it shows that up there on your heads-up display, if you can see that. It says Christina Aguilera Hurt. SXM. Sirius XM. Uh-oh, what's that big blue thing right there? Look at that. Look at that. Oh, damn, that's that Camaro. Okay. Let's turn right here. Oh, you know what? I usually switch to my nav screen. I don't see my nav screen right here. Home. And I see projection, climate, nav. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's pretty straightforward, right? We've got the collision system here. And, you know, pretty straightforward. This Jeep. When you floor it, it wants to get up. But basically, anybody who's driven one of these 3.6s, you already know exactly what to expect. You know, it's a nice car. You know exactly what to expect. This is really a retirement car. You know, this is a retiree car. It does what it has to do, and it does what it has to do flawlessly. It does exactly what it needs to do. And it's very straightforward. Okay, so you gotta put it in park. Turn it off. 2017 Buick LaCrosse. Very big car. It's like the Cadillac CT6 in size. Still the same rear headroom issue. Nice infographics. IntelliLink.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection. Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
Okay, yeah, you can go away. Got to push the button on the side right here, and then pull back to go to drive. To park, you push park. To go into neutral, you just push forward, but you have to hold the button on the side, so that goes neutral. But to go into reverse, you got to push forward and then go left. Pretty straightforward, right? Now let's see if the door automatically turns on the parking brake. Let's see, if I open up the door, okay, it's in reverse right now, so it has the rear camera. If I open up the door, let's see what happens. I always like testing these computers. Let's see what happens if it's in reverse and I open. Oh snap, okay, the door won't open, so let's see what happens. If you open up the door, it stays in reverse and it keeps moving. Okay, so let's see if you put it in park. Let's see if I put it in drive. Okay, in fact, let's see if I put it in neutral. If I hold it, you have to push your foot on the brake, put it in neutral. If it's in neutral and you open the door, let's see what happens. Okay, unlock, neutral. It does not auto go to park. So if I want to put it in park, push that. So sometimes these things have safety systems where it will put you automatically into park if the door is opened. Pretty big, spacious car, right? 2017 Buick LaCrosse. This has the heads-up display here. Okay. It's a pretty straightforward retirement car. Pretty straightforward, nothing special. From a standstill, it gets a lot of tire screech. I'm thinking the all-wheel drive model won't do that, but the front-wheel drive model will give you a lot of tire squeal. All-wheel drive helps transfer the power better. You can see me in the mirror. Not bad, not bad at all. It's a great car for retirement if you want a four-door sedan and you want a long car. Fully loaded, this is $50,000. $48,000 with everything, all the safety tech stuff, heated, cooled seats, etc., etc. $48,000 is not that bad. I think a lease on that is about close to $350 a month, probably $400. Pretty straightforward. And if there's a car on the side of you, naturally you get these lights that say there's a car on the side of you, blind spot identificator. Yeah. Yes, Ben McAllister, it's full-time four-wheel drive. There are two models. There's the front-wheel drive model, and then there's the four-wheel drive model. ventilated seats here. Yeah, so it's a 3.6 liter V6. It's a little bit less than 300 horsepower. It's not a race car at all. Most cars that have a regular V6 are about 300 horsepower now. Usually if they put the turbochargers in them, usually you may get a little bit more than that, unless it's like a 4-cylinder, and then you are lucky to get 300 horsepower. I'm not used to driving cars this slow. Maybe putting gas in it. Very calm, right? Ooh, Jeep SRT. Jeep SRT. That's the money right there. That looks like a 2012, 2013. Yeah, that's the 2013 model.